So before I get started, I just wanted to let y'all know I'm selling my 1 week sketchbook and first year Calarts Sketchbook on Gumroad along with additional sketches, but I'm just saying it now because this video is pretty damn long, so I'm already feeling like a lot of people won't finish it, but yeah, it's just me talking about my artistic journey, so yeah, have a great day, bye. Hello, bitches, and if you don't want me to call you a bitch, hello, my viewer. Anyway, today, well, I actually did this like a month ago, but I can, I'm only doing this when I'm back at home and not in school, so yeah. Anyway, this is just me drawing an illustration that for those who follow my Tumblr or Twitter, you might have seen, or my Instagram, I don't know. I'm trying to be more versatile in my social media. But I don't know, I got a lot of comments saying you should just draw and just talk, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I should because that would make it a lot easier for me to just shit out a video. But at the same time, if I like drew traditionally and talked, there's no way I would ever get that fucking drawing done because whenever I draw traditionally and talk, I can't really focus, or really digitally too, like I can't focus and draw at the same time. But when I color, I can focus on talking and coloring, but otherwise no. So yeah, so this is pre-recorded because I'm fake. I'm not really at that level where I can feel ready to be like, completely live yet, which is weird because I used to live stream for people when I was like 15, but you know what? That was when I was 15. That was in the past. I'm a different person now. Anyway, I just thought that maybe I could just talk about how I became who I am as an artist now, I guess, because I was originally going to just talk about my Porter Robinson and Maddie on concert, but then I was just like, whatever. I feel like I told the story to like 10 different people already that I kind of got bored of saying it, that I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, I still had a great time, but otherwise, yeah, I think I'll just talk about something that's relevant to my channel. So I'll just talk about how I transformed from a little bitch to a big bitch, I guess, okay? Because literally, I was thinking about this, about telling my artistic journey story, but I was like, a lot of this is just mostly me being a bitch. The day that I left my mother's uterus, I came out of that vagina with a fucking Cintiq. Just kidding. Ever since I was like 5, or like, I don't have a specific memory of me never holding a pencil or a drawing utensil. Like, I feel like I've been drawing literally my whole life, like basically everyone else and their moms, like I've been watching cartoons, drawing on the Magnadoodles and stuff. But ever since I was little, I was a demanding little bitch. Like this is kind of the behind the scenes if you saw my child creations, but I would always make books like for drawing, really. I guess this is why I chose animation, is because I was more of a storyteller when I was little. I wanted to tell a story, but I used art as a way to express that story. So I would always want my dad to write a book, or like just, I would staple a bunch of papers together and just tell my dad to just write up any story that he fucking wants to, and I'll just draw to it. So my dad would always like write stupid shit like, ooh, the hamster, his name was Jerry, and he loves eating sunflower seeds, and I would just draw fucking Jerry eating sunflower seeds, and that would be how I created art when I was little. I collabed with my dad, but a lot of the times, sometimes obviously he didn't want to do that shit, and like I always like forced my dad to tell stories to me and my sister before we like went to sleep too, but every time he was like about to fall asleep, I would like just be like, wake up, bitch, or like just start kicking him, or just like be like, Daddy, wake the fuck up. Just kidding, I didn't curse that young, but like I would always just like yell at my dad to just wake the fuck up to finish the goddamn story, because he'd be like, the princess, and then he was like gone, and I'd be like, but you can't just do that, like that's illegal. And so yeah, so that's how I mostly made stories when I was little with my dad. And I was actually so like serious about art that I didn't even know that I was that serious about it, but I would literally then proceed to moving on digitally onto the computer. So at first, I like literally wanted a tablet because I was so serious about like wanting to like create something digitally and like producing it and like sharing it. But I was like fucking like 12 or 10. Wait, I think I was like 10 or 11. But yes, but I mean, my parents were just like, yeah, just let her be stupid on the computer and just draw whatever. Like, just make her shut the fuck up. So I got my first little ratchet ass Wacom tablet. It's like I don't know what it's called anymore. It's really old looking, it's really dusty, and it's gray and it's crusty, okay? Like, if you touch it, it's actually crusty and rusty. But I went on a site called Rate My Drawings where you could like just draw and it records the process of your drawing, kind of like what you're looking at right now, except it's like you just draw on the website and then they record your process and then you post it and people can just watch you draw the thing. And I was like the fucking like star. I wasn't the star, but like I was like somewhat popular and stuff. Like, I wasn't, like, popular, but I was, like, yeah, like, people knew me. I wasn't, like, a nobody on that site, but my drawings were shit. Don't look me up. But if you do, like, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna have a great time feeling better about yourself right now. So, yeah. So, I always just made those drawings there. Then later on, I decided, hey, I want to, like, do this with my friends, too. Like, I want my friends to be a part of this. So, when I was little, I would do the same thing I did with my dad. I would, like, start making notebooks. I've upgraded from stapling papers to notebooks, like the ones from Staples with lines on it. And I would just be like, hey guys, let's just like write a story, and then we take turns drawing and writing in it and like making comics and shit. Except I was still a fucking bitch during this time too. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just imagining myself in the future if I, you know, ever became like a director. JK, that's not happening. But if I did, I'd just be like, everyone would hate me and I'd just get fired for being a bitch. But okay, so my friends would like write stories, but anytime they didn't, I would seriously like get so passive aggressive and I'd just be like, okay, can you seriously like just take this home and just do it at home and then bring it back tomorrow so like we have a fucking story? Or like, if something looked too similar to what I made, I'd be like, were you fucking copying me? Like, and there's this one time, I'm so sorry to my friend who might be watching this and might know what I'm talking about, but if you are that person, I'm so sorry for my past bitchy self. But okay, so literally my friend in 4th grade, she wanted to collab with me on a story, and then she like started making her own story in it, but it was so similar to mine that I took the notebook back and I like scratched out her name. I was like, this book is not by fucking XYZ, this is by me. Like, credit does not go to her, the credit goes to fucking me. Like, no, she copied me. Like, I like wrote so much to like make it very clear that I was the bitch who created this, not that bitch. But I was like, who the fuck is gonna look at this anyway? But then in 4th grade, there was also this other bitch that also copied me, but she's not a bitch. I'm just like, you know what, Michelle, you know, you were a form of inspiration, as narcissistic as that sounds, but there's this other girl in my class who literally fucking copied me. And okay, obviously it's kind of a peeve when people do copy you, but don't credit you. Like, that's something that you should at least like credit the person for, but like we were fucking like, what, 9? So she drew the same exact characters I drew, made her own stories, and like literally copied my format of putting things in a notebook. So there's this one time I literally just met her out at recess with my other friends, and while she was like sitting down by like the gate with her other friend, we just like approached her, and I was like, I'm gonna confront this bitch and just tell her to fucking stop copying me. So I just told her, I was like, look, Jenny, that's not her name, but you make me want to throw up. Like, I said, you make me want to throw up because she copied my drawings. And then she said something back like, I'm not fucking copying your shit. Like, not like that, but she said, she was trying to like say she's not copying my stuff. But okay, that kind of pissed me off because I was like, it's so obvious you're copying. Like, if you looked at our characters, they looked the fucking same. It was like a dog with like pigtails, and I don't know. It was just like, you know, you can't just magically make a dog with pigtails like I did. Like, okay, like I was the fucking furry queen of that time, okay? Oh my god, I did start off drawing with animals all the time though. So yeah. So then eventually one day I just found her sketchbook in the auditorium. I did not like steal it on purpose, but I saw the notebook and I was like, oh my god, here's my chance. So I just took it. I was like, you know what? It was just there. Like, it's not like I took it from her. I just found it and decided to take it back. So I'm stealing it, I guess, still. So finally I took it back and I like literally just ranted out to my parents, like, there's this bitch in my school who's literally copying all my shit. And then I took out the sketchbook and I raised it in the air and I started twirling around in my living room and I was like, and I finally stole her fucking sketchbook! And I like started like just like jumping like so triumphantly, and my parents were like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, you have to return that shit, like, you're getting in trouble, blah blah blah. And they like grabbed the notebook back from me and they're like, you have to return this to her tomorrow, la la la. And I was like, what? But she copied me. And I don't know, it was like probably like, I just like to imagine myself like as Mei from Totoro, the little sister, whenever she like screamed and was like cranky and was like, I'm not stupid. That was me, except with the sketchbook. So yeah, so the next day I returned it to Jenny and she was like, hey, did you steal my fucking sketchbook? And I was like, no, I found it. But she's like, no, but I swear to God I had it. And I was like, okay, bitch, like, you're gonna accuse me of stealing. But like, okay, yes, I did steal it, but then second of all, you did leave it in the auditorium at the same time. I could have just taken it home to give it to you the next day, but like, okay, just keep being the bitch. But you know what? We both bitches, so we chill now. I don't really talk to her now, but obviously that's a thing of the past. But oh, that's not the worst part though. At my after school camp thing or whatever, because after school I went to this little program thing because my parents couldn't pick me up all the time. We had a last day thing where the kids where you make a speech before the last day of the program. So she wasn't in this program, but I went up to the microphone and my speech was literally dedicated to this bitch because I was a fucking bitch. Oh my god, how did I have friends back then? But I went up to the microphone and I was like, this year I'm really glad to leave 4th grade because I can get fucking Jenny out of my face. Like, I'm so tired of her copying my artwork, and if I'm graduating 4th grade now, then she doesn't have to see my work anymore and she doesn't have to copy me or something like that. Like, basically, I just called her out on her shit. That's something I wouldn't do now, ever. That's really shitty of me in the past, so don't do that, guys. But that was what happened, and I'm pretty sure people, the adults or the parents who were there were like, what the fuck? But I'm sorry to their ears. I'm sorry to my parents who weren't there, but also thank God they weren't there to hear me make that speech. But yeah, I was a bitch. Anyway, my main inspirations though when I was little was mostly animal movies. And by the way, I'm going all over the place right now. I'm just pretty much rambling and just speaking off the top of my head in my kitchen right now while my parents are out. So when I was little, my favorite movies and shows were basically anything with animals in it. When I first started drawing, my inspiration was animals. Like Pokemon, I would draw Pokemon all the time because they were creatures. I would draw The Land Before Time a fucking shit ton. Like dinosaurs and just random like fantasy monsters were like the first things I ever drew, just because it's like I just liked the thought of animals and fantasy and the fact that dinosaurs didn't exist. Like they existed, but they don't exist. It's almost like it's fantasy. And deer specifically, because I watched Bambi and I was like a fucking slut for Bambi. Oh my god. But those are my favorite movies when I was little, because not only did they just have cool animals in them, but they both had moms that died. Alright, but that was what made me love the movie so much. The fact that their moms died, that was why I loved The Land Before Time and Bambi. Because it just emotionally wrecked me at such a young age. I feel it left an impact on me that in a way I can remember it and actually like value it, because obviously we all have moms and that would be fucking terrifying if my mom died. Bless, that's not gonna happen. Oh my god, my mom's gonna live forever. Anytime I watch The Land Before Time or Bambi, literally I would either skip to the part where the mom dies, or rewind to the part that the mom dies, or I would just watch it only for the part that the mom dies. Like, I would not even watch the movie sometimes. I would just watch the part where the mom dies, gets shot, gets wrecked by the T-Rex. Like, I would just watch those parts because I felt anytime I watched it, I just felt something emotionally rather than just watching something like cute and like funny. Like I felt something in my kokoro. So yeah, that was when I guess the emotional part of me started coming out, the emo side of me and furry side. So I guess I could also explain why I'm not just like making sex jokes all the time, but I also dress like a gothic hoe because I'm just like, you know what, death has been a part of me ever since I was like 2. I don't know. Whenever the movies came out, I don't remember, but so since then I've always just been drawing animals, and I remember in kindergarten I always made my people like look like animals, so I pretty much drew furries rather than people. Like I refused to draw people because I just found them so boring. Not that y'all are boring, not that I'm boring, I hope, but I don't know, I was just more interested in animals than people because there was just something more creative / imaginative about like just giving an animal human characteristics like talking and shit, because obviously that's not possible, so that's why I liked drawing it a lot, to make it possible for myself, because I fucking loved animals. Like there's this one time I literally screamed at my grandma because I wanted a cat so bad, and like she was yelling at me to shut the fuck up, and I was just like, I just want a cat. And I was like literally digging my feet into the carpet until they bled, like the friction of the carpet and rubbing your feet against them. Like I don't know why, I just remember doing that and screaming that I wanted a cat, and that, you know, I was a bitch. I gave that warning earlier. So yeah. So in kindergarten, I drew like people with animal heads all the time, and my teacher was always like, Michelle, can you stop drawing your people with animal faces? Like, draw them like normal people. And I'm just like, first of all, now that I'm older, I can look back and be like, why the fuck are you telling me what to draw and limiting my creativity? Because, you know, that allowed me to be who I am today. Like, fuck, did you see my second year film where I had to fucking animate a tiger, bitch? Why can't someone draw an animal head with a body? Like, that's what is in Disney movies, so I don't know why you'd restrict me from that, but I mean, it's not like it stopped me from getting to where I am today, so bless that bitch for being a minor setback, I guess. She was like a nice teacher though, but like, I don't know, she was like the kind that's like nice, but then like at random times she'd just be a bitch and you'd just be like, excuse me, what? Who are you right now? So yeah. Okay, so again, I'm jumping all over the place. Then I was getting really serious into art. We're back in 5th grade now, 5th grade, 6th grade. So I would start digitally drawing shit after rate my drawings, and I would start using Photoshop and MS Paint because I had both a Mac and a Windows. Lucky little me. So what I would do is my friends and I always role played games. Like I was this one character. I was always like the animal of the game because I was such a fucking furry. Oh my god. I was always like the dog, the wolf, the deer, the dinosaur, and then like my friends were like the boyfriend and the girlfriend, even though they were both girls, but they were like, oh yeah, here's our little dog, and I'm like, yes, woof, bitch. And so I wanted to draw our characters all the time, and like, you know, like just like concept art, I guess, except really amateur. One day I'll show it to y'all. Like, I know I made the old sketchbooks video, but wait till you see the old digital art one from like 1996. I don't know. I was born in 1996, so don't actually believe what I said. So anyway, so I would always just always wanted to draw our pictures, but I was like, I want to combine the pictures though. So I used this app on the very old Macs called iDVD, or Windows Movie Maker, on the Windows computer. And I would basically put all these pictures together, like the concept art of our role-playing characters, like, and just like have a slideshow with like some Japanese hentai music. So I just like had these like really innocent drawings made by like a fucking 8-year-old of like a dog and like his 2 best friends, like with hentai music playing in the background, because I loved hentai music when I was little, because I stumbled across, like, you know, the True My Heart, where you like, get in my heart, keep me what you got good, like that shit. So because I was using the program iDVD, not only did I just make slideshows of these shitty artworks with hentai music, but I also copied them onto DVDs at the amazing age of 11 and distributed them to my friends and my family. So like I would literally just be like, any family gathering, I'd be like, guys, it's time for my slideshow. Come on, chop chop, where the fucking DVD player at? Let me insert that shit. And then like everyone would just like gather around, because it's like, you know, like just a traditional thing where I would just then play my slideshow for everyone to see, and they would just like watch these MS Paint / crappy Photoshop drawings just transitioning with the cross fade or fade in, fade out, with just hentai music in the background, and nobody knew, which was the lovely thing about it. So that's how I would say the animation part started kicking in, because then this one day I was just on YouTube and I saw this girl. I forgot her name, but she's actually like the reason why I'm here today. Who is she? But she had just a anime opening blink, like she just animated a girl on MS Paint blinking. Like, so basically what she did was she would draw the different frames on MS Paint, and then she would just make like one frame like, oh, the eye's open. The second frame is like the same picture, except she would erase some of the eye so that it kind of closed, and then like, you know, same until the eye closed, and then you can repeat it so it opens again. And then you put these pictures onto Windows Movie Maker or a movie editing program, and then it would play like an animation depending on how long you set the pictures to play for. So I thought that shit was insane. I was like, she made this bitch blink. What the fuck? I want to do that too. So I literally was like, okay, so I know how to combine pictures together from that fucking iDVD shit. I know how to draw on the computer now. So now I want to fucking make a bitch blink. So I started like doing the same stuff but on a Mac. So I used iMovie, and I would just like start making my own anime opening shit, which explains my leads of the seasons, if y'all know what that is. But okay, one day I'll unprivate it, but as for now I think it's private, but whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you've been here for a fucking long time. Congrats to you. I love you. You're the bitch. How much time do I have left in this damn thing? Okay, what else do I talk about? Oh shit. How much of a bitch am I now? Because I was a bitch back then, demanding people to watch my shit. Now I don't really want, like, I guess I fell into a period of depression for a while where I didn't really like making art anymore because school really drained me first year. I'm gonna make a totally separate video about my experience at cartoon school, like probably when I graduate. So that's going to be a long time from now, but I'll give you a preview right now. So first year of Calarts, I think I fell into a depression, not like a depression that I was like, oh, I couldn't leave my bed, or I actually had depressed symptoms. But I guess I was like oh my god, there's like a controversy about art block right now, so I can't say that shit either, because people are gonna probably tear me a new asshole if I say that shit. But I just didn't want to do art for a while because I was just so, I wasn't drained, but I was drained. Like, I was just tired of animation being my whole life. I was trapped in California with like no friends, because first year I did not make any friends, because when you go into the school, everyone is so great at what they do. You're just like, I'm afraid of becoming friends with someone, but then like, I don't know, I just feel like everyone is competitive at first, and I don't really want to form a friendship when we're all at that stage. Like, I don't want to form any enemies if I get to know people, so I would just rather not know anyone and just be neutral with everyone. So that was pretty much me. I didn't really care because I liked being alone, because no one bothers me that way, and I don't really have to worry about anyone else other than myself. It did get lonely sometimes because obviously my friends, my actual friends, are like on the East Coast, and I was on the West Coast. And at this time I was starting to follow people on Instagram. Like, I never gave a shit about Instagram before, but then freshman year I started following people on Instagram because I was just like, sometimes simple things like looking at pretty clothes just make me happy during these stressful times. So I would just look at them, but then they were always like in groups of friends, and they would be like, went out to this kawaii cafe with so-and-so, went out to this place with Brittany, I don't fucking know. And I'd just be like, wow, I wish this was me and my friends. So I really craved to just hang out with my friends and have a life, I guess. So that summer after freshman year ended, I literally did not draw art at all. But then obviously second year of school, I came back around and decided I really want to work hard again and just push myself to work hard and improve in making films and stuff. So that's why I really tried hard with my second year film, which is still not perfect, but I mean, like, I had to do that in order to get to where I am now. Because, you know, I realized that, wow, I just, how this talk started off so, like, me, like, bitch, like, oh my god, I was doing this when I was fucking little, like, oh my god, and now I'm just, like, getting really deep and emotional. But when I was, oh my god, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what I realized was when I was in high school, or like all this time, I was just making art. Ever since I was little, I was always making art, making videos, making music videos, making slideshows, and forcing bitches to watch it. But I guess that all that time I've just like been alone in my room. Like all that time I've just always been trapped in my room without realizing that I was trapped, because I enjoyed it. I liked being alone and just drawing and making art. But I guess because I was so trapped, I didn't realize that there was actually a beauty of being with people that you care about and just enjoying the simple things in life, like just going to a cute cafe and just having a latte, and that could just literally make your day without you even knowing it. But obviously I wouldn't have known that when I was 12, because I was 12 and I didn't have money. But okay, at 16 16 I started hanging out a bit. Okay, at 14 I wouldn't have known that, because I didn't really make the effort or care enough to go out with my friends, because I thought drawing was my life. But then later on, the more this becomes actually your life, you're going to realize that art is not your life. You are more than just your artwork. So for those of you who may be insecure with your art right now, just saying your art is not you. Like, you eventually realize that your life is your life and not just art, because reality is going to hit someday where you're going to get tired of drawing some days. You're going to not want to work some days. But then if you're not going to work, then what are you going to do? You're going to need people to be there sometimes if you don't want to be alone. You're going to want places to go to when you don't want to work or be alone or not be alone. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my god. But yeah, basically, just realize that you're more than just your art. You can go out and do things, go out with your friends, because those things define you too. Your personality, like being a nice person, which I wasn't, but I'm trying to be. Being a good person in general, being a good role model, doing something else other than art, go travel, like listen to music while running, go exercise, go do something that's not art, because these things will ultimately start to influence your work as well. Because when you're trapped in your room, you're just going to constantly create shit that's, I'm not going to say it's like fake, but like, I don't know how to explain this without sounding like a bitch, but okay. The experiences you have in life will bring diversity in your work, because when you experience more things, you'll have more of a glossary or a place to find inspiration from, because you experienced all these different things that you could possibly apply to your work. So ultimately, when you do art, you're drawing things based on what you feel, what you think, things that have probably happened to you before. And that's why art isn't your life. Art is a way of how you express your life, your thoughts, who you are, but it's not your life. Which is why I feel like you need to go out and have fun. Just be a little bitch for a while and hoe around, but also don't hoe around too much, but hoe around, but use protection. And yeah, just be safe.